everybody. How are you doing today? I am doing fine. So this is actually like a brand new sort of format that I'm gonna be doing. I've kind of have like a little bit of notes here on the side. I'm not gonna like do any like line by line just because the main issue that I want to talk about, I don't see it being talked about quite as much. So if you are unaware about what's going on in this case, there's this 26-year-old truck driver from Houston who recently was sentenced to 110 years in prison for an accident or a crash that happened. So his name was, sorry, I don't know if I'm going to say this right, Rohel Aguilera Mederos. And whenever he was driving his truck in 2019, his brakes actually failed. And so unfortunately, he did not take, the steps that, I guess you're supposed to take, like swerving off of the road to go into the shoulder. Well, his defense was, I couldn't go into the shoulder because there was already an 18-wheeler or one of these huge semi trucks parked in the shoulder, so I didn't want to hit that person. And so he's going down a hill, and you can look this all up yourself. The case is over at this point, but he's going down a hill, and so his brakes fail. He can't stop his truck. He ends up, unfortunately, tragically crashing into another vehicle, and I believe four people lost their lives. And so along the case, he cooperated completely with police. He submitted to drug testing, alcohol testing, chemical testing. He passed with flying colors. He was not inebriated. He was not drunk. He felt very sorry and very sad for the situation. And it seemed to me, and y'all can make your own opinion, this isn't like supposed to be like, here's the news as it is. It's just kind of how I'm interpreting all the different news stories. Oh wait, sorry. Okay, I'll tell y'all what the mug said later. Okay. But so from what I can kind of gather, the guy is really sorry. He's a young man, 26 years old, and he didn't do it on purpose. He wasn't drunk. He wasn't on drugs. He passed all the tests. His brakes just failed, and he made the decisions that he made in that moment. So that goes to trial, and ultimately he ends up getting convicted by a jury of, found guilty of killing, I believe, 4 people. And so the jury, and this is what I really wanted to talk about as well as one other thing. The jury in this case was not told how long the defendant, right, Rohel, Mr. Aguilera Mederos, could possibly be in jail. And this is a big issue that we even discussed in law school whenever I was in law school. And that is, a lot of lawyers will say that the jury should not know how long someone might spend in jail or prison based on their sentence because it could skew the jury's opinion. Well, my opinion is it should skew the jury's opinion, and the jury should have all relevant information that they need before convicting someone of a crime, because ultimately, that's why we have juries of our peers, because our peers are in the best position to know what they would want, if they were in that situation and stuff like that. So also, just to avoid the tyranny of the government and all other things, we can get into a jury constitutional law class later. But essentially, there have now been jurors who have come out in tears saying, when I found out how long this man was going to have to stay in jail, I didn't actually think that that was fair. And we don't think that he should be in jail. And so the big issue in this case has now become mandatory minimums. Whenever the judge was sentencing Mr. Aguilera Mederos to 110 years in prison, he made comments about consecutive sentences versus concurrent sentences. And in Colorado, where Mr. Aguilera Mederos was sentenced, the judge had no discretion as to how long Mr. Aguilera Mederos needed to be in jail. He had no discretion. It was kind of like his hands were tied. He said these sentences all have to be served consecutively instead of concurrently, which means, let's say you commit 5 different crimes and each one of them has a 5-year sentence. You get found guilty. Well, if you're able to serve those sentences concurrently, then you're going to start every single one of your sentences in jail on day 1. So all 5 of your 5-year sentences will be done in 5 years. But if you have to serve a consecutive sentence, then all 5 of those 5 would have to be served. First, you do your first 5, then you do your second 5, then your third, then the fourth, then the fifth. So ultimately you're in jail or prison 25 years instead of just 5 years. And the reason for that is because some sentences have to be served consecutively instead of concurrently. Now, I haven't done enough research into this case to really have an opinion on whether or not his sentence was excessively harsh, other than I'm kind of skewed to the side of it was excessively harsh. Just from a common sense public policy standpoint, he's a truck driver driving a truck and his brakes failed. He wasn't drunk, he wasn't drinking, he wasn't on any substances. He is sorry. He has good reasons for not having pulled off, and I don't think this man's going to do this again. It was unintentional. That's, from the public policy standpoint. And then also, just from what the judge on the stand said, the judge thought that it was a little bit excessive, but the judge kind of said, listen, look, my hands are tied. And so that's kind of like what's going on right now as far as the discourse in this case. You even had Kim Kardashian tweeting about it, and she said, what did she say exactly? Essentially what I just said. And she basically came out and said, mandatory minimum sentences should be abolished. They should be done away with because it takes away the judge's ability to have discretion. You also have thousands of truck drivers who are protesting the state of Colorado. There's lines and lines. Go on TikTok and look. Lines and lines of semi-trucks, 18-wheelers just saying, nope, we're not going into Colorado until this sentence is turned over. We have over 4 million people who have signed a petition to essentially exonerate this person, to essentially commute his sentence so that he doesn't have to actually serve it, because so many people think it's so unfair. Now, again, I'm just telling you what the people think. I'm kind of on the fence. I definitely see where they're coming from, but this isn't necessarily, strictly speaking, my opinion. I'm just telling y'all what's the chatter in the news. Okay, so that's where I wanted to get to today on this story. So what we end up having is the prosecutors are basically celebrating, right? They're celebrating the fact that they have been able to put this man away for 110 years. And the lead prosecutor on the case is a person by the name of, let me see, looking at her. Oh, Trevor Moritsky. So let me see if I can go ahead and share with y'all this news article that I do have up. I was having some technical difficulties a little earlier, so I'm not sure this is going to work exactly how I had planned, but let me just get what I have up for y'all so you can see at least that. Okay, so I'll show you this. This is just like my pictures or whatever, but it's very blurry because it's a screenshot. Let me see if I can. Okay. So this was one of the prosecutors on the case, and she has now put up this screenshot as, this is just like a picture on my phone or whatever, on my computer or whatever. So Kayla Wildeman, she's now put this up on her Facebook. I'm sure it's deleted now. And this is a screenshot from a news article that we will read. There's 3 articles linked below as well. But, yeah, no, this is not in California, Steve. So this is Colorado. So California is irrelevant. Get yourself a trial partner as great as Trevor Moritsky. He turned a brake shoe from a semi-truck into a memento. What a special gift from a truly special person. I never asked for a new BFF at work, let alone one that's old enough to be my father, no offense. But I sure am grateful this trial brought you into my career as both a colleague and a friend. Words will never convey how lucky I am to have gotten the opportunity to learn from you. So that's what we have Miss Kayla Wildeman saying. And we'll try to zoom in a little bit to your look. So he's gotten her a brake shoe. It says Kayla Wildeman Power Move 19CH1608 I-70 case. So it's like a little bit of a trial memento. And so from the legal law perspective standpoint, I do need to tell y'all, when people win big cases, very often there is a trophy that is given, a little plaque, a little memento. And it seems to me like this one was kind of like a little bit of a joke, but also still a serious thing, right? The girl posted it on her Facebook and everything. Well, now you have, of course, Jefferson County. Let me show you all the news article. You have, of course, Jefferson County coming out and saying, they didn't condone that and it was done in bad taste and stuff like that. This is her. Jefferson County District Attorney received a makeshift trophy as a memento for securing a 110-year prison sentence for a truck driver who caused a crash near Colorado in 2019, leading to 4 deaths. She shared a photo of the trophy, a brake shoe from a semi-truck with the case number and her name printed on a placard. And then it reads her thing out again. Ms. Wildeman and Mr. Maritsky worked together in the prosecution of 26-year-old Rohel Aguilera Moderos, who lost control of his semi-trailer truck brakes on Interstate 70 near Lakewood, Colorado, on April 25th, 2019. He crashed into stopped traffic, resulting in fires and explosions. 4 people died in the crash. Okay, so here comes the defense attorney has come. Now, Mr. Madero's actual defense attorney has come, James Colgan. He said the trophy was unprofessional. He said lives are ruined all around and they celebrate, he said. The League of United Latin American Citizens, a Latino civil rights organization, vocal about the case, demanded immediate disciplinary action and a formal apology. To say we are disgusted over this so-called trophy is an understatement. Our organization demands a full investigation into the matter to identify the people who are involved so they can face the maximum disciplinary action up to and including dismissal. In October, a jury found Aguilera Maderos guilty on 42 counts, including vehicular assault, first-degree homicide, first-degree assault, reckless driving, and careless driving. He was handed a sentence of 110 years in prison last week and has been deemed a tragic accident. More than 4.5 million people have signed an online petition asking Governor Jared Polis to commute the sentence. So I'm not sure I'm going to go so far as to say this girl needs to be fired, because I think what is really going on is indicative of a larger problem. And this is something that the defense attorney did say in this case as well, on an interview. He says, it really shows the attitude of prosecutors. Prosecutors are supposed to be attorneys that represent the state and we, the people, against bad actors, right? And I mean, again, this is my personal opinion. Y'all can have your own personal opinion. I don't think this man is a danger to society. I don't think that he was the type of person, just based on my little bit of research, that was trying to kill 4 people and be, everything that he said, his reasons for not pulling off to the side was because he didn't want to hit a big truck. I mean, that could have caused more explosions. His reasons for crashing into the family was his brakes failed. And so now we have these prosecutors patting each other on the back, having the good old girls and boys club about, haha, we put that criminal away. And it almost seems like, and this is what the defense attorney said in this case, that this has turned into a situation of gamesmanship. It's like a game to these people. I mean, not only did Mr. Aguilera Moderos unintentionally cause people to lose their lives, which is probably going to weigh on his conscience for the rest of his life, but also his family has now lost him. He lost his freedom, his personal autonomy. 4 people are dead. And you have these prosecutors giving each other these gifts, and not only in private, like, good job on the case, you're becoming a good lawyer. No. She posted it as a funny, hilarious joke on her Facebook. I mean, literally, this is what Mr. Colgan said, the defense lawyer. Lives are ruined all around. And they're celebrating, but not just celebrating, they're gloating. Ha ha, look at this brake shoe trophy. Like, is she going to put that in her house, in her trophy case, and look at it every day about how she managed to put this poor man in prison for 110 years? Again, I'm not the prison police, okay? I don't really know how long people should stay in jail and things like that. Like, I'm kind of like thinking like jail is like not like it's on its way out. Like, we probably shouldn't even really have it. Like, we should have some other things. I'm kind of up in the air about how I feel about jail, but the point remains that they're making it into a joke, like a hilarious joke. And this is a very serious tragedy. This man lost his freedom. His family members have now lost them from their lives. There's 4 people that have passed away. Hundreds of, not maybe thousands of dollars of state resources have been expended on this. I mean, super traumatic, super tragic. And I mean, in my opinion, it is in very poor taste for this prosecutor, Windeman, to have posted this photo on her personal Facebook. I mean, she even could have said, thank you so much to my new mentor for helping me get through this case. It was kind of high profile and it was rough. Thank you for, even that. But just putting that brake shoe trophy and laughing about it, in my opinion, was disgusting. It was in very poor taste. And it really gives you a little more insight into how prosecutors really think. This isn't about the toll of human lives for them. This isn't really about justice for them. This is about, ha ha, we won, high fives, pat on the back, silly trophy, hey, look at us. And I just don't think that that's the mindset that prosecutors should be having. So I just wanted to come by and just kind of like tell my opinion on this and kind of get that out. I don't really have much else to say. Yeah, I mean, they're very desensitized. They're very cold. Prison is a business that runs on the unpaid labor of prisoners, aka slavery. And honestly, after watching the documentary 13th, I cannot disagree. I think that there's something to that. The company, that's a good question, Steve. Steve's asking, so if he drove a company truck, why wasn't the company held responsible if he's not the owner of the truck? I do not know the answer to this question. It's a great question. I don't know if it was his truck or his company's truck. Like I said, I haven't done a ton of research into the details of this specific case. I kind of want to just kind of comment on the prosecutor's actions in the midst of what people are very clearly saying was an unjust sentence. I mean, 4.5 million people have signed the petition saying that it was excessive sentence and that the governor should commute this sentence. So if he was driving a company truck, it's a great question as to why they weren't charged and found guilty here, because I don't know. Rebecca is asking, would I ever consider going over the Stephen Avery trial? I do not know about that trial, so maybe I would consider it. I've never heard of it. Kind of sounds like they sacrificed this guy to protect the company. Oh, maybe so. So Tanya Mayher said, this would be €1,000 fine here and some volunteer work in the Netherlands. But prisons are almost empty here. Yeah. If you Patreon, oh yeah, my Patreon is set up now. Thank you, Monica. I think my first Patreon endeavor is going to be reading the rest of Through the Storm. So if y'all want to see the rest of Through the Storm, it's probably going to be on Patreon, and I'm probably not editing it. I'm probably just having book club with BJ so we can finish Through the Storm and then maybe start something else. What would y'all like to see that I'm not allowed to talk about on YouTube? Because that's the real reason for the Patreon. So Sassy said, truck drivers are sometimes considered to be contractors, so they get stuck with the truck fees. But haven't heard of this case until now, so unsure about this one. Yeah, and that's the problem. And so I think the way that this is going to resolve is I really think that the truck driver, Mr. Rohel Aguilera Mederos, is going to be given a lighter sentence somehow, some way. I don't know if that's going to mean the laws are going to be changed in Colorado or the governor is going to commute the sentence. I don't know. But it does seem like, 4.5 million people have signed this petition. So it seems like probably something that's going to be fixed. I hope so. And I'm holding out hope because it does seem like the people who have looked into this case think that it's total bullcrap. And, okay. Speaking of drunk driving, the holidays are coming up. This is not sponsored. Nobody gave me this for free. I just want to show y'all something cool that I found at a music festival a few months ago. This is literally water. It's called Liquid Death. And I know a lot of people on my channel do not participate in alcohol. So I think that this is so cool. Like, I literally bought this with my own money. Like, this is like a thing I just bought at a music festival. But I wanted to show y'all. And it looks like a beer. So, like, you know how, like, when you're out and you're just not drinking for whatever reason, say you're on antibiotics or whatever, and people are like, why aren't you drinking? Here's a drink. Take a shot. Why don't you do it? And sometimes it's like, I'm not in the mood. I feel like if you had this, like, people would, like, leave you alone maybe. And it's water. And that way you, like, don't have to deal with the pressure. I don't know. I just thought this was the coolest invention. It's called Liquid Death. It's done, not sponsored. I purchased this myself. It's just cool. Like, put it in a koozie. Like, look how cool. Like, I don't know. Anyway. So yeah, I wanted to tell y'all about that because the holidays are approaching. I know there's like a lot of pressure to like drink alcohol, and sometimes you're just not in the mood. Sometimes you physically can't. Sometimes you don't want to. Whatever the case may be. And I just thought this was so cool. I was like, "Can I get a bottle of water?" And they were like, "We don't have bottles. We just have this." And I was like, "That doesn't look like water." So I bought an extra one to show y'all, and I just never have. So the drunk driving case made me think of that because he wasn't drunk, right? I just want to let y'all know he was not drunk. He passed all the tests. Anyway, just wanted to show y'all. For those of you who don't participate in alcohol. Yeah. Y'all have it. Okay. Y'all know about it already. Okay. So y'all already knew. Oh, time for the mug update. Okay. So I received this as a gift. It says, back the F up, sprinkle tits. Today is not the day. And then it's a unicorn dabbing. And it says, I will shank you with my horn. And it says it on both sides. I love it. Anyway, okay, that's all I had to say today. My mom is here still, so I think I'm gonna make her build a unicorn glitter chateau that I bought at Target, like a gingerbread house that has like pink glitter all over it. We ate at Red Lobster yesterday. That was cute. And I think we're gonna go to the King of Prussia Mall today. So I don't know. That's if I can make them because it's kind of like a far drive, but KOP is what they call the mall at King of Prussia, has the coolest, best stores. So every time my mom comes to visit me in Jersey, I'm like, let's go to the KOP mall, and then we don't. What should I bring my mom to do around Princeton and like Jersey area? Anyway, okay. You got the line way wrong. So I'm going to go. Just wanted to drop by and like kind of talk about this case because I was so annoyed with this brake shoe trophy. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Let me know if you know something about the case that I don't know about the, guy and the wreck and the crash and stuff. I mean, I really haven't done a ton of research. It was just, I was so appalled at the brake shoe. So anyway, okay, I'll talk to y'all later. Faxing defamation. Love you, mean it. Okay, bye.